All right, I'm going to call the meeting to order. City Council will meet on Thursday, May 27, 2021 at 7 p.m. remotely to hold its regular meeting for the purpose of discussing any and all business. Pursuant to Governor Baker's March 12, 2020 order suspending certain provisions of the Open Meeting Law, General Law, Chapter 30A, Section 20, and the Governor's March 15, 2020 order imposing strict limitation on the number of people that may gather in one place, this meeting of the Salem City Council will be conducted via remote participation to the greatest extent possible. Specific information and the general guidelines for remote participation by members of the public and or parties with the right and or requirement to attend this meeting can be found on the city's website at salem.com. No in-person attendance of members of the public will be permitted, but every effort will be made to ensure that the public can adequately access the proceedings in real time via technological means. In the event that we are unable to do so, despite best efforts, we will post on the city's website an audio or video recording, transcript, or other comprehensive record of proceedings as soon as possible after the meeting. For this meeting, members of the public who wish to watch, listen, and provide comment if applicable during the meeting may do so by following the Zoom link to join the webinar as provided on the meeting agenda. You can also go to the website link, zoom.us/join, enter a meeting webinar ID 831-1814-6378, followed by the meeting password as provided in the agenda. By phone, participants can dial a toll-free number at 877-853-5257 or 888-475-4499. When prompted, enter the meeting webinar ID 831-1814-6378 and follow the instructions to join the meeting. For those dialing in, you may press *9 to raise your hand to speak, to sign up for public testimony, or to participate in the public hearing portion of the agenda if applicable. The meeting is being broadcast live on SATV on channel 22, as well as broadcast live on Facebook. Members of the public wishing to speak on the agenda items must follow the how to sign up for public testimony outlined on the agenda. If wishing to speak during public hearings designated on the agenda, you may raise your hand. A regular meeting of the City Council is being held remotely on Thursday, May 27, 2021 at 7 p.m. for the purpose of transacting any and all business. Notice of this meeting was posted on May 25th, 2021 at 8:59 a.m. This meeting is being recorded and is live on SATV. Councilors absent, none. Council President Madore presided. Councilor Hepworth moved to dispense with the reading of the record of the previous meeting. All those in favor? See live on hands. All opposed? Seeing none, the mayor carries. President Madore requests that everyone please rise to recite the Pledge of Allegiance led by Councilor Marcillo.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Thank you. Public testimony, none. Hearings.
We have continued from the May 13th, 2021 meeting, Comcast to install a conduit on First Street.
Appearing in favor?
We have Dave Llewellyn from a representative from Comcast in favor.
Mr. Fuller?
Yep,
go ahead.
Your name and address for the record, please.
Good evening, Dave Llewellyn, Comcast, 9 Forbes Road, Woburn, Mass. I would like to speak in favor of the Comcast petition for First Street to replace 30 feet of conduit for the purpose of providing service to number 40 First Street.
Thank you. Anybody else appearing in favor? Seeing none, anyone appearing in opposition? You may raise your hand if you're a member of the public. Seeing none, any further discussion from councilors? Councilor Philo.
Thank you, Madam President. I have a few questions for Mr. Llewellyn. Can you tell me how the neighbors are going to be notified when this does happen?
That's a good question. I would think that part of this petition, the abutters were notified as part of this process, and therefore that would be part of the notification for the work.
Does this application have a date that you're going to do the work on?
No, not currently. Pending upon the approval from the city council, we would apply for a street opening permit, and when that permit would be issued, we would stop the work.
Okay. I would like to request, if this is possible, that there's some notification either to the ward councilor, which is me, or through the city engineering department of the date that the work is going to be done.
No problem.
All right, and then I can let the abutters know. And then can you also talk about your process or the company's process for closing the street and then patching?
Well, that would all fall under the street opening permit requirements from the city. We would follow whatever is in the permit.
Do you know if your process has part of it to come back within a few weeks to redo the patching that's usually sunk?
Well, hopefully our contractor does a good job and they don't have to come back. If it does sink, we are definitely responsible for that, and we would come back. So if there is an issue, we're responsible for it. We'll take care of it. That's not an issue.
Okay, thank you.
Any further discussion from members of the council? Councilor DeVoe.
Thank you, Madam President. Through you, would this one trench and access accommodate all 212 units that are being built behind Shaw's, or will additional street openings be required later?
For Comcast, it will support the 212 units. I can't speak for any other utilities that need to bring a line into that property. But for our purpose, that one conduit will suffice. The building property owner is bringing a conduit out to the property line that we'll be tying into.
Great. Well, so thank you. Even though there are buildings scattered all over the place, I appreciate you only opening the street in one location. So good work. Thank you.
Any further discussion from members of the council? Seeing none, Councilor Marcillo.
Thank you, Madam President. I move to close the public hearing.
Councilor Marcillo moves to close the public hearing. All those in favor? See 11 hands. All those opposed? Seeing none, the hearing is closed. Councilor Marcillo.
Thank you, Madam President. I move that this be granted by roll call vote.
Councilor Marcillo move that this be granted by roll call vote. Madam City Clerk.
Councilor Torrio.
Yes.
Councilor Sargent.
Yes.
Councilor Riccardi.
Yes.
Councilor Kwasniewski.
Yes.
Councilor Marcello.
Yes.
Councilor McCarthy.
Yes.
Councilor Hapworth.
Yes.
Councilor Flynn.
Yes.
Councilor Dominguez.
Yes.
Councilor DeVoe.
Yes.
And Councilor Madore.
Yes. On the matter of Comcast to permitting Comcast to install conduit on First Street, we have 11 councilors voting, 11 affirmative, none in the negative. The matter carries. Further hearings.
We have a hearing from National Grid to install a conduit on First Street.
Any members of the public appearing in favor?
Sabita Mahavi, Shahi Mahavi is present for a representative from National Grid. If you want to state your name and record for the record, Sabita, your name and address, I'm sorry.
Sabita Mahabir Sheehy, representing National Grid, 44 River Street, Beverly, Massachusetts. This is to provide service going to 45 Traders Way in Salem.
Any members of the public who wish to speak in favor? Any members of the public who would like to speak in opposition? Members of the council, any further discussion? Councilor Marcillo?
Thank you, Madam President. Just a few questions for you, Ms. Mahabir. Hope I pronounced that correctly. Can you tell me how you're going to do notification to the neighbors in that area?
When the contractor does his street opening permit with the city, they would have to notify. And also your posting for the butters should have taken care of that.
So So my request is that if you can either let me as the ward counselor know when you're ready to do the project on the date, I can let the neighbors know in that area, or it could go through the engineering department. But either way, we need to let them know that this is going to be happening.
I will let the contractor know that they have to notify you.
Thank you. And then can you also talk about the kind of process that the contractor uses for closing and patching the street?
He would have to follow our specs, and he's supposed to bring it to grade.
Do you have a process of coming back in a few weeks to check on the closing, the patching work that you did to make sure that it's still level with the street?
We can put it in the work request for that to be done.
Thank you.
Any further discussion? Seeing none, Councilor Marcelo.
Thank you, Madam President. I move to close the public hearing.
Councilor Marcelo moves to close the public hearing. All those in favor? 11 hands, all those opposed, the hearing is closed. Councilor Marcelo.
Thank you, Madam President, and I move that this be granted by roll call vote.
Councilor Marcelo moves that this be granted by roll call vote. Madam City Clerk, please call the roll.
Council Torrio,
Yes.
Council Sargent,
Yes.
Council Riccardi,
yes,
Council Presnowski,
Yes.
Council Masillo,
Yes.
Council McCarthy,
Yes.
Council Hapworth,
Yes.
Council Flynn,
Yes.
Council Dominguez,
Yes.
Council Dibble,
Yes.
and Council Madore.
Yes. On the matter of National Grid installing conduit on First Street, we have 11 councilors voting and 11 of the affirmative, none in the negative. The matter carries. Appointments and reappointments.
We have the mayor's appointment of Emmy Perez of 7 Ord Street to the Parks and Recreation Commission with a term to expire October 18th, 2023.
Councilor Hapworth.
Thank you, Madam President. I move this be held under the rules until the next meeting.
Councilor Hapworth moved that this be held under the rules until the next meeting. Further appointments and reappointments.
We have the mayor's reappointment of Stephen Havey to serve as a constable with a term to expire April 18th, 2024.
Councilor Marcelo.
Thank you, Madam President. I move that this be received and filed.
Councilor Marcelo moves that this be received and filed. All those in favor? All those in favor, I see 11 hands. All those opposed, seeing none, the matter carries. Communications from the mayor.
We have the mayor submitting fiscal year 2022 operating and capital budget.
Councilor Terrio.
I missed the click. So first, I move that this be referred to the Committee on Administration and Finance co-posted with the Committee of the Whole. And further, I move to suspend the rules to allow Mayor Driscoll to address the council.
Councilor Terrio moved that this be referred to the Committee on Administration and Finance, co-posted Committee of the Whole. All those in favor? I see 11 hands. All those opposed, seeing none, the matter is referred. Councilor Terrio further moves to suspend the rules to allow Mayor Driscoll to address the council. Being no objection, Mayor Driscoll.
Yeah, good evening, everyone. Thank you for the opportunity to come before you. Just for a short preview of the proposed fiscal year 22 budget. You know, we're looking forward to the budget hearings where we can go more in depth with department heads to review what the proposed expenditures for the upcoming year. I also want to welcome Anna Friedman, our relatively new finance director, both to the finance team, and thank her for her work on putting together the budget. We had a transition from one finance director to another. So Anna was able to work on 2 communities' budgets this year, where she came from in Winthrop, and ours as well. And before I just talk about the budget, I also want to call out the recently approved free cash certification from DOR. It came in a little bit later than expected this year, but it was worth the wait as it tallied at one of our higher amounts at $8.9 million. Following our standard budget and accounting guidelines, we'll be proposing transfers to our stabilization, our short-term CIP, and our OPEB accounts at the next meeting. As you know, that's in our, I believe, our retirement stabilization funding. So that's one of the ways we help drive some of the balances we have in those accounts. And certainly from an accounting and stable accounting practice, keeping those stabilization fund balances healthy is important to ensuring that we have the security we need should an emergency arise. Currently, we're at nearly $8 million in the stabilization account. Obviously, that will increase slightly when we make the free cash transfers. But I just want to call out the work of the council and the administration that's really created balances that are healthy for a city our size and position us to take advantage when we see downturns in the economy or unfortunately pandemics and the like. Our diligence in adopting sort of thoughtful but reasonable spending plans and supporting investment in our community is really, really important and a big part of our fiscal prudence that's led to not only the balances that we can rely on to support the cost of governing, but also higher bond rates and making sure that we can invest in the things we need to as a community. And I want to thank you for the partnership throughout the years that has led us to that part. And just as we're approaching the end of this fiscal year, I want to call out that we're watching, closely our local receipts and meals and hotels and parking and cannabis. One of the drivers of our higher free cash balance has definitely been cannabis outperforming some of the projections that we had anticipated. Some of that was anticipated. DOR only allows you to make projections based on the prior year, and since this is such a new industry and we've had new retailers come online, that number has continued to grow, but it has been, growing at a healthy clip this year for sure. And as we close out the fiscal year, we're watching those things really closely. As for the fiscal year 2022, which the fiscal year budget, which starts July 1st, the proposed total budget, inclusive of our enterprise costs, that's our total water, sewer, solid waste. Sometimes when we compare budgets, other communities don't incorporate their enterprise accounts for the apples to apples comparison. But all in, we're at just over $180 million, 181, 902, 811 to be exact. And that represents an increase of about 5% over last year's spending. The largest bulk of our increases relate to funding public education and our fixed costs, such as our health insurance, our pensions, and some of our state assessments have also risen. We're also incorporating additional operating resources in the area of climate change and resiliency and in race equity. And I just wanted to call out those two areas. As you know, I hope you do, we're working with the city of Beverly on a joint climate action plan called Resilient Together. I've talked with Councilor Madore, and Mayor Cahill and I have expressed a desire to have a joint city council meeting between the two cities. This Resilient Together plan is wrapping up. And I know some of you have been part of working groups, advisory groups, and focus groups along the way. We're really excited about where Resilient Together is landing with real solid action items, policy, programs, projects, and a real strong assessment. We've had climate change vulnerability assessments for our community in certain areas. We've done adaptability projects and a number of energy and efficiency upgrades. But the work has only scratched the surface. We know the impending, timeline for climate change is up on us. And we really feel like there's an opportunity for us to invest more now. That will be investments that will really pay off in the future. So we are looking to create, a real department that will own the sustainability and resiliency agenda for the city of Salem and invest in those programs more rapidly under the theory of what gets budgeted gets done. We really want to be able to drive that. Right now, some of our resiliency efforts are a little bit of engineering, a little bit of planning, a little bit of our capital projects, and we think it needs a more strategic structure to it. And we're looking forward to Jenna Ide playing a larger role. She's been a terrific partner in so many things, but in this area, she's got real expertise and building out an investment pipeline that will help us in the future. I also know, and we expect that there'll be a cachet of state and federal grant programs coming down the pike, and we want to position ourselves to be competitive and obtain those grant dollars. And that means with the Resilient Together plan and having some people power, we're really hopeful we're going to be able to do some good work in that field. The other area I would call out is race equity. As you know, we've had a race equity task force that's been meeting for nearly 10 months. Both Councilor Kwasniewski and Councilor Riccardi have been members of that group. We are wrapping up the initial report that will have some recommendations on what we want to act on, both as a city, like the city as an organization where we employ people, we offer services. How can we be sure that we're breaking down barriers and doing all that we can to ensure there's equity in how we think about the work that we do as an employer, as someone who's delivering services, and then also as a community. How do we build out the value system that I think is strong here, but really recognizing some of the key work that was done in the Race Equity Task Force is really, this is part of more of a community mission. So we're hoping to invest in hiring a diversity, equity, and inclusion officer, someone who can help drive that agenda and lead that work. Senator Lovely and Representative Tucker also serve on the Race Equity Task Force, and we have worked with them to try and put some matching state dollars into the budget process. Senator Lovely was able to secure $75,000 to help us with this important work. It's in the budget, so it's not finalized, but fingers crossed, it makes it over the goal line in the final budget, and we would match that with city resources. We also have a healthy capital improvement program that will make investments in key areas, just a couple of them, and I'll call out body cameras for our police department, a new engine for our fire department. We're due to replace one, and we probably could get another year out of it, but there's such a long lead time for these engines. We want to invest in it now, so it'll be here at a time when we need it. And then we've got some school repair projects and a host of other expenditures in roads and sidewalks and utility areas, water and sewer. Just in a city our age, there's no shortage of needs in that space, and we want to make sure we're investing in it. You know, overall, I think our budget reflects strong commitment to the people we're all fortunate enough to represent, with costs coming in, you know, well below our annual levy allotment. We will still be, close to $4 million below the levy, which means we're not taxing people to the max. We're trying to be mindful of what things cost, what investments we need to make, and how it impacts property owners, trying to make these expenditures in a balanced and responsible approach. We know that new growth is important. Just to put a finer point on that, you know, our health insurance and pension increases alone equal about what we bring in new growth. And so that's before we pay anybody anymore, before we invest further in some of the initiatives I just talked about, pave more roads and fix more sidewalks. We've got to come up with $1.5 million on July 1st just to pay new fixed costs that we don't have a lot of discretion over. And I call that out because I know growth is something that we're going to be talking a lot about the next several weeks. And I want to make sure folks understand that our investments that are happening in our community are actually shielding property owners from higher tax increases. They do help us ensure that we can invest in the things we need to, while also being mindful of the impacts on taxpayers. Again, I look forward to working with you to adopt a budget that we can all be proud of. And I know those budget hearings are long, but it's also a great opportunity for you to know what our department heads are working on, where those priorities are, and how we can work together to ensure that we're reflecting the needs of our community. And thank you for the time this evening.
Thank you, Director Skoll. Any further discussion? Seeing none. Further communications from the mayor.
We have a bond order for fiscal year 2022 for general fund capital improvement program in the amount of $9,819,000.
Councilor Chorio.
Thank you, Madam President. I move that this be referred to the Committee on Administration and Finance, co-posted with the Committee of the Whole.
Councilor Chorio moves that this be referred to the Committee on Administration and Finance, co-posted with the Committee of the Whole. All those in favor? I see 11 hands. All those opposed? Seeing none, the matter carries. Further communications from the mayor.
We have a bond order in the amount of $4,429,000 for fiscal year 2022 water and sewer capital improvement program.
Councilor Chorio.
Thank you, Madam President. I also move this be referred to the Committee on Administration and Finance, co-posted with the Committee of the Whole.
Councilor Chorio move that this be referred to the Committee on Administration and Finance, co-posted with the Committee of the Whole. All those in favor? See 11 hands. All those opposed? Seeing none, the matter carries.
Councilor
Flynn has his hand.
Councilor Flynn has his hand raised. Sorry.
Councilor Flynn.
Thank you. Thank you, Madam President. I was abstaining from both of those votes because there's a couple items for the fire department. So I did go off the last vote, so you didn't have 11. In this vote, I won't be voting either.
Thank you. On the bond order, Councilor?
Send it to committee.
All right, it's in committee. Further communications from the mayor.
We have an order in the amount of $995,000 be appropriated as part of the fiscal year 22 short-term capital improvement plan.
Councilor Chorio.
Thank you, Madam President. I move this be referred to the Committee on Administration and Finance, co-posted with the Committee of the Whole.
Councilor Chorio move that this be referred to the Committee on Administration and Finance, co-posted with the Committee of the Whole. All those in favor? See 11 hands. All those opposed? Seeing none, the matter carries. Further communications from the mayor.
We have an order that DOR requires that Council Order number 71 that was approved in February 25th, 2021 be reapproved and modified. This amount originally came from retained earnings and it has to be taken out of free cash.
Councilor Terrio.
Thank you, Madam President. I move for adoption by roll call vote.
Councilor Terrio moves for adoption by roll call vote. Under discussion.
Thank you, Madam President. It was explained here pretty well. This is basically, we have to go from a different, basically we have to pull from a different column for it to be legal.
Any further discussion? Seeing none. Madam City Clerk, please call the roll.
Council Terrio,
Yes.
Council Sargent,
Yes.
Council Riccardi,
Yes.
Council Prosnewski,
Yes.
Council Marcillo,
Yes.
Council McCarthy,
Yes.
Council Hapworth,
Yes.
Council Flynn,
Yes.
Council Dominguez,
Yes.
Council Dibble,
Yes.
and Council Madore.
Yes. On the matter of the order, we have 11 councilors voting, 11 affirmative, the matter carries. None in the negative, and the matter carries. Further communications from the mayor.
We have 9 orders that are required by DOR to be reapproved from free cash.
Councilor Terrio.
Thank you, Madam President. I move for adoption by roll call vote.
Councilor Terrio moves for adoption by roll call vote. Under discussion.
This is sort of the same situation. These are all matters that we have previously approved, but we have to reapprove them due to the free cash certification.
Thank you. Any further discussion? Seeing none, Madam City Clerk, please call the roll.
Council Terrio,
Yes.
Council Sargent,
Yes.
Council Riccardi,
Yes.
Council Prosnewski,
Yes.
Council Marcillo,
Yes.
Council McCarthy,
Yes.
Council Hapworth,
Yes.
Council Flynn,
Yes.
Council Dominguez,
Yes.
Council Dibble,
Yes.
and Council Madore.
Yes. On the 9 appropriations, we have 11 councilors voting, 11 affirmative, none in the negative. The matter carries. Further communications from the mayor.
We've been ordered that the sum of $15,000 is hereby appropriated from fund balance free cash to replenish the city council advertising account for required public meeting advertising expenditures.
Councilor Terrio.
Thank you, Madam President. I move for suspension of the rules.
Councilor Terrio moves for suspension of the rules. Seeing no objection, Councilor Terrio.
Thank you, Madam President. I also move for adoption by roll call vote.
Councilor Terrio moves for adoption by roll call vote. Under discussion.
Thank you, Madam President. The short version of this is we've passed a lot of ordinances and we have more still to pass before the end of the fiscal year. And we need to replenish the city clerk's advertising budget in order to be able to do those.
Councilor Terrio, are you on the same page as me?
Yep.
Mm-hmm.
Number 17, the top one.
17.
Mm-hmm. Item 1 on page 17.
What am I missing? The top of page 17.
Yeah.
City council advertising.
Yeah.
Okay. Thank you. Any further discussion? Seeing none, Madam City Clerk, please call the roll.
Council Terrio,
Yes.
Council Sargent,
Yes.
Council Riccardi,
Yes.
Council Prosnewski,
Yes.
Council Marcillo,
Yes.
Council McCarthy,
Yes.
Council Hapworth,
Yes.
Council Flynn,
Yes.
Council Dominguez,
Yes.
Council Dibble,
Yes.
and Council Madore.
Yes. On the matter of appropriation, we have 11 councilors voting, 11 affirmative, none in negative. The matter carries. Further communications from the mayor.
We have been ordered that the sum of $10,000 be appropriated from free cash to replenish the police department radio vehicle account for increased costs of parts and repairs.
Councilor Terrio.
Thank you, Madam President. Also, let the record reflect that Councilor Krasinski has recused himself. So I would move for suspension of the rules.
Council Terrio moves for suspension of the rules. Seeing no objection, Council Terrio.
Thank you, Madam President. I also move for adoption by roll call vote.
Council Terrio moves for adoption by roll call vote. Under discussion.
Thank you, Madam President. Basically, this is for vehicle and radio repairs through the end of the year. They need some more money to do that. Some of the parts are getting a little pricey.
Thank you. Any further discussion? Seeing none, Madam City Clerk, please call the roll.
Council Torrio,
Yes.
Council Sargent,
Yes.
Council Riccardi,
Yes.
Council Marcillo,
Yes.
Council McCarthy,
Yes.
Council Hepworth,
Yes.
Council Flynn,
Yes.
Council Dominguez,
Yes.
Council Dibble,
Yes.
and Council Madore.
Yes. On the matter of appropriation, we have 10 councilors voting, 1 recused, none opposed. The matter carries. Further communications from the mayor.
We have an order that the sum of $4,000 be appropriated from free cash to the Parks and Recreation renovation and repairs account.
Council Terrio.
Thank you, Madam President. I move for suspension of the rules.
Council Terrio moves to suspend the rules. Seeing no objection, Council Terrio.
Thank you, Madam President. I move for adoption by a roll call vote.
Council Terrio moves for adoption by roll call vote. Under discussion.
Thank you, Madam President. This is for signage to be built and deployed at the new Community Life Center, especially now that people are going to be using it somewhat in person. They've realized that there's a need for better place finding signage and the like to be installed on it. So this is to help people out.
Any further discussion? Seeing none, Madam City Clerk, please call the roll.
Council Torrio,
Yes.
Council Sargent,
Yes.
Council Riccardi,
Yes.
Council Presnewski,
Yes.
Council Marcillo,
Yes.
Council McCarthy,
Yes.
Council Hepworth,
Yes.
Council Flynn,
Yes.
Council Dominguez,
Yes.
Council Dibble,
Yes.
and Council Madore.
Yes. On the matter of appropriation, we have 11 councilors voting, 11 affirmative, none in negative. The matter carries. Further communications from the mayor.
We have 3 money matters, which are 2 of retirement buybacks and 1 for burial account.
Council Terrio.
Thank you, Madam President. I move for suspension of the rules.
Council Terrio moves to suspend the rules. Seeing no objection, Council Terrio.
Thank you, Madam President. I move for adoption for all these matters by roll call vote.
Council Terrio moves for adoption for these 3 matters by roll call vote. Under discussion.
Thank you, Madam President. The burial plot transfers are routine business. And I'll recognize that Linda Serpa and Deb Jackson have both retired. And I'm not quite sure what we're going to do at the classification hearing this year without Deb going through everything. It's going to be very confusing for us all, but I do wish them both very, very well.
Agreed. Any further discussion? Seeing none, Madam City Clerk, please call the roll.
Council Torrio,
Yes.
Council Sargent,
Yes.
Council Riccardi,
Yes.
Council Presnewski,
Yes.
Council Marcillo,
Yes.
Council McCarthy,
Yes.
Council Hepworth,
Yes.
Council Flynn,
Yes.
Council Dominguez,
Yes.
Council Dibble,
Yes.
and Council Madore.
Yes. On the 3 money matters, we have 11 councilors voting, 11 of the affirmative, and the negative. The matter carries. Further communications from the mayor.
We have an order per Mass General Law, Chapter 44, Section 64. We're looking to pay $2,482.96, an invoice from last fiscal year with this fiscal year expense.
Councilor Terrio.
Thank you, Madam President. I move for suspension of the rules.
Councilor Terrio moves to suspend the rules. Seeing no objection, Councilor Terrio.
Thank you, Madam President. I also move for adoption by roll call vote.
Councilor Terrio moves for adoption by roll call vote. Under discussion.
Thank you, Madam President. This is to pay postage that is essentially overdue. We were invoiced for postage on some mailings from the collector's office after the previous fiscal year ended. So this vote is required in order to pay the invoices.
Thank you. Any further discussion? Seeing none. Madam City Clerk, please call the roll.
Council Torrio,
Yes.
Council Sargent,
Yes.
Council Riccardi,
Yes.
Council Presnewski,
Yes.
Council Marcillo,
Yes.
Counsel McCarthy,
Yes.
Counsel Hapworth,
Yes.
Counsel Flynn,
Yes.
Counsel Dominguez,
Yes.
Counsel Dibble,
Yes.
and Counsel Madore.
Yes. On the matter of the appropriation from the previous fiscal year, we have 11 counselors voting, 11 in the affirmative, none in the negative. The matter carries. Further communications from the mayor.
We have an order that the Salem City Council vote pursuant to the provisions of Mass General Law, Chapter 44, Section 53E and a half, the list of fiscal year 2022 revolving funds.
Councilor Chorio.
Thank you, Madam President. I move for adoption by roll call vote.
Councilor Chorio moves for adoption by roll call vote. Under discussion.
Thank you, Madam President. This is something we do every year at this time. This is something that's required by mass law. All our revolving funds need to be authorized on an annual basis with the amounts that they are expected to carry, and whatever they don't, whatever goes above and beyond that gets swept into city revenues. So in the meantime, that's money they can draw upon and use as revenues permit as the year goes on. But this is the list that we do every year. So it's no change.
Thank you. Any further discussion? Seeing none, Madam City Clerk, please call the roll.
Counsel Torio,
Yes.
Counsel Sargent,
Yes.
Counsel Riccardi,
Yes.
Counsel Prosniewski,
Yes.
Counsel Mustillo,
Yes.
Counsel McCarthy,
Yes.
Counsel Hapworth,
Yes.
Counsel Flynn. Oops,
Councilor Flynn's recused. And
there must be a fire.
There was a line for the fire department on there, so I thought I would have to recuse that since
Oh.
it's a vote to pass.
got it.
The Dominguez,
Yes.
Counsel Dibble,
Yes.
and Counsel Madore.
Yes. On the matter of approval of the revolving funds, we have 10 counselors voting, 10 affirmative, 1 recused, none in the negative. The matter carries. Further communications from the mayor.
We have an ordinance to amend an ordinance relative to water rates.
Councilor Marcello.
Thank you, Madam President. I move that this be referred to the Committee on Ordinances, Licenses, and Legal Affairs, co-posted with the Committee of the Whole.
Councilor Marcello move that this be referred to the Committee on Ordinances, Licenses, and Legal Affairs, co-posted. All those in favor? The 11 hands. All those opposed? The matter carries. Further communications from the mayor.
We have an ordinance to amend an ordinance relative to sewer rates.
Councilor Marcello.
Thank you, Madam President. I move that this be referred to the Committee on Ordinances, Licenses, and Legal Affairs, co-posted with the Committee of the Whole.
Councilor Marcello move that these be referred to the Committee on Ordinances, License, and Legal Affairs, co-posted. All those in favor? See 11 hands. All those opposed? Seeing none, the matter carries. I'm watching those captions and they are not great. What do you guys think? I think I have to speak very slowly for the captions to be correct. But
It's pretty consistent with what it misses. It says the same thing every time.
during the roll calls, it's pretty awful.
They can't interpret about accent.
Sorry?
I don't believe the people on SATV can view it, though. It's not showing up on the TV screen.
Yeah, I hope it's just us because they're not great. All right.
It's better than nothing for somebody who's, hearing impaired. It's at least something.
Further communications from the mayor, I believe.
We have a resolution recognizing the service of Salem Police Department canines, Turbo and Axel.
Councilor Prosniewski.
Thank you, Madam President. This resolution is recognizing the service of the Salem Police Department canines, Turbo and Axel. Whereas the Salem Police Canine Unit was formed in 2012 as a result of fundraising efforts by the Salem community, including the Mack Park Neighborhood Association, the Salem Lions Club, the Salem Moose Family Center, and in partnership with the Massachusetts Vestadog Organization. And whereas the Salem community has remained steadfast in its support through fundraising, engagement, and encouragement of the canine program since its inception. And whereas on May 27th, 2021, we recognize the service of recently retired Salem Police Department canines Turbo and Axel, And whereas both K9 Turbo and K9 Axle joined the ranks of the Salem Police Department in 2012 as founding members of the K9 unit and served honorably and faithfully until their respective retirements on 26th of August 2020 and 26th of January 2021. And whereas the mayor and city council recognize that both Turbo and Axle have provided the residents of Salem invaluable service by assisting officers in the apprehension of suspects, the discovery of evidence, assisting in locating missing persons, and being outstanding police ambassadors to the community. Now, therefore, be it resolved that the mayor of the city of Salem and the Salem City Council, on behalf of the residents of Salem, express our appreciation to K9 Turbo and K9 Axle for their combined 17 years of loyal and faithful service to our community. And be it further resolved that this resolution be made a matter of record for these proceedings, and that a copy of this resolution and a copy of the city seal be presented to the Salem Police Department for display at the Salem Police Station as a lasting tribute to the service of these fine animals. I move that this be adopted by roll call vote.
Counselor Presniewski moves for adoption by roll call vote. Under discussion?
Thank you, Madam President. Being a member of the Salem Police Department, when these fine animals came into our police department, I cannot tell you the invaluable behind-the-scenes work that they did through every shift that they worked. They were not only utilized by the Salem Police Department, they were utilized by other communities, including Boston during the Boston bombings. There's no doubt about it. Their faithful and undeniable loyalty to their handlers, their love for their handlers, and vice versa, the love that their handlers gave to them. I wish them a long and healthy retirement, and I would be remiss if I did not give thanks to the Chief's Administrative Aide, Bob Mulligan, for authorizing this resolution and going through the research process for finding out the dates. So my hat's off to the animals and the handlers, and I hope we have a canine presence for a long time on the police department. Thank you.
Thank you. Counselor Flynn.
Thank you, Madam President. I have to agree with the good at large counselor. This was a great program. I hope it always goes on in Salem. These canines, they're on the front lines with the officers. They're basically police officers. They put their lives on the line. I've seen these dogs work. I've seen the compassion between the handlers and the canines, and we are so lucky to have this in Salem. Extremely important, and I hope this program continues in the future for as long as we can have this program. Thank you.
Thank you. Counselor Terrio.
Thank you, Madam President. I would also, normally in one of these things, these kind of situations, retirements, you would normally move that a city seal be sent to the retiree. In this case, I would like to say that on behalf of the City Council, I move that we take up a few dollars to send them a nice little stash of coffee time dog biscuits, because they were both very good boys.
Counselor Terrio moves that we...
I guess that we amend that we take up a little collection among ourselves to send them some biscuits.
Second.
They deserve it.
All right. Counselor Terrio moves that we appropriate some donation funds to procure canine treats for our canine officers from Coffee Time. Seconded by Counselor McCarthy. All those in favor? All those opposed, seeing none, that motion is carried. Any further discussion on the resolution? Counselor Riccardi.
Thank you, Madam President. I just wanted to throw my thanks in there as well to K9 and Turbo and Axel. They actually visited our block party one year, a few years ago, and I could easily say they were the highlight. I mean, and we had a piñata, we've had, other visitors, but they were definitely the highlight. So along with, the great work that they do, they're also, I think, a great community building and item as well. They're just definitely part of the community. And I also want to throw out a special thank you to the Mac Park Neighborhood Association, especially Rosemary O'Connor. I believe she was definitely a driving force behind this. We appreciate her work, and it will definitely be a lasting legacy as this program continues.
Thank you. Any further discussion? Seeing none, would a member of the council like to suspend the rules to allow Deputy Chief King to say a few words on our
So moved.
K-9 officers? Councilor Terrio moves to suspend the rules to allow Deputy Chief King to address the council. Seeing no objection. Deputy Chief King.
Thank you, Counselor. Captain, Executive Officer in Salem. Not a deputy chief, but I appreciate the bump and the acknowledgement, Councilor Madore. I'm here in support of the K-9 program and really recognizing Axel and Turbo and the work of the handlers. It's been an amazing run for the department, and they have been great assets. They're community ambassadors, and they really do outstanding police work, and that should never go, missing as far as that, the connection there. And we really have embraced them at the department. So I just want to say thanks to all of you for the recognition and the mayor for putting it forward. And as always, supporting the Salem Police Department.
Thank you. Any further discussion? Seeing none, Madam City Clerk, please call the roll.
Councilor Torrio.
Yes.
Councilor Sargent.
Yes.
Councilor Riccardi.
Yes.
Councilor Krasniewski.
Yes.
Councilor Marcello.
Yes.
Councilor McCarthy.
Yes.
Councilor Hapworth.
Yes.
Councilor Flynn.
Yes.
Councilor Dominguez.
Yes.
Councilor Dibble.
Yes.
And Councilor Madore.
Yes. On the matter of the resolution, we have 11 councilors voting, 11 in the affirmative, none in the negative. The matter carries. Mayor's information on page 9. Motions, orders, and resolutions. Councilor Marcello.
Thank you, Madam President. In the year 2021, an ordinance to amend an ordinance relative to traffic, Chapter 42, Section 50B, handicapped zones, limited time. Be it ordained by the City Council of the City of Salem as follows. Section 1, amending Chapter 42, Section 50B, handicapped zones, limited time, is hereby amended by repealing the following. Repeal Lathrop Street in front of number 18 Lathrop Street, beginning 4 feet west of the driveway at 18 Lathrop Street, running west for 20 feet. Section 2, this ordinance shall take effect as provided by city charter. In the year 2021, an ordinance to amend an ordinance relative to traffic, Chapter 42, Section 50B, handicapped zones, limited time. Be it ordained by the City Council of the City of Salem as follows. Section 1, amending Chapter 42, Section 50B, handicapped zones, limited time, is hereby amended by repealing the following. Repeal Emerton Street, easterly side along number 2 Emerton Street for a distance of 20 feet. Section 2, this ordinance shall take effect as provided by city charter. And I move for adoption for first passage by roll call vote.
Councilor Marcello moves for adoption for first passage by roll call vote. Under discussion.
No discussion.
Any further discussion? Seeing none, Madam City Clerk, please call the roll.
Councilor Torrio.
Yes.
Councilor Sargent.
Yes.
Councilor Riccardi.
Yes.
I'm sorry, she said this. Councilor Krasniewski.
Yes.
Councilor Marcello.
Yes.
Councilor McCarthy.
Yes.
Councilor Hapworth.
Yes.
Councilor Flynn.
Yes.
Councilor Dominguez.
Yes.
Councilor Dibble.
Yes.
And Councilor Madore.
Yes. On the 2 traffic ordinance amendments, we have 11 councilors voting, 11 affirmative, none in the negative. The matter carries. Further motions, orders, and resolutions. Councilor Terrio.
Thank you, Madam President. Let me bring it up. City of Salem, year 2021, an ordinance to amend an ordinance relative to zoning. Be it ordained by the City Council of the City of Salem as follows. Section 1, Chapter 8.6, Waterfront Industrial Overlay District, WIOD, of the City of Salem zoning ordinance is hereby amended by adding a new table entry to 8.6.3, permitted uses with the following. Principal uses, C, housing, why C, housing uses, planned unit development, N. Section 2, this ordinance shall take effect as provided by city charter. And I move that this be referred to the planning board to hold a joint public hearing.
Council Chair, I move that this be referred to the planning board to hold a joint public hearing. Under discussion?
Thank you, Madam President. Briefly, this will go through the full hearing process, but this is something that I am putting in after consulting with the Ward 1 councilor who has forgotten more about zoning than I'll ever know. Basically, Shetland Park is working on what seems to be very, very significant plans that would remove a good amount of commercial space that is in active use right now and generating tax revenues and jobs. And they'd like to replace that with housing. And although I am very much in favor of building more housing in the city, I'm not in favor of displacing existing commercial usage in order to do so. And so this gives us an opportunity to pause any redevelopment that might happen and be able to work on something that might be more sustainable and better for our commercial, better for the neighborhoods and better for our commercial real estate base. So at this point, beginning this process is the key to doing so.
Thank you. Any further discussion? Councilor McCarthy.
Thank you, Madam President. I will give all the credit to the Ward 5 councilor. He and I had multiple conversations after Shetland came in and made their filing for 1,500 of units, which kind of threw us all off. They had been having community discussions with a number that was quite a bit smaller. And as we were brainstorming as to how we could do this, the Ward 5 council came up with this idea. I think it gives the city and the council a little more leverage when they're coming back if they do decide to try to pursue housing as to what can be done down there. I mean, Shetland over the years we've enhanced their zoning numerous times. They've come to us and asked us because they want to be more like the Cumming Center over in Beverly. The Cumming Center in Beverly had more options, and we, over the years, have tried to help them, to try to make them more competitive. If they're looking to be more competitive, I know that the Cumming Center has added some housing as well. We'd be more than willing to work with them, but I think this just gives us the option of having more say in what goes on down there. So I think it just brings us all to the table and makes us a partner in what they're trying to do. So hopefully it works. We'll see.
Thank you. Any further discussion? On Councilor Terrio's motion to refer
Madam President.
to you, Councilor Sargent.
Thank you, Madam President. Might I suggest that we also review Chapter 7.3 in the city zoning ordinances. It's the section on planned urban developments, because we have a forward and back here. The waterfront overlay district, industrial district, is part of the industrial district, and this says what's allowed in that district. Section 7.3 says where a PUD is allowed, and in that it says that it's allowed in the industrial district. So you can eliminate it from 8.6.3, but it will still be in section 7.3 where a planned urban development is allowed. So I make a friendly amendment and ask for Council Turville's feedback on just that something to the effect that and that whether it be the city council and the planning department also review and make recommendations for possible changes to section 7.3.
So if I may answer, Madam President.
Councilor Terrio.
So thank you, Madam President. So to address the at-large councilor's question, in the process of formulating this, I brought this up with the planning department and with legal, and because a concern that planning had was that this wouldn't affect the underlying zoning, but it turns out that after doing legal research on this, changing this on the overlay zone will in fact remove this from that particular area because the overlay zone supersedes the underlying zoning. So so this has been verified on the legal side already that in the normal industrial zone, you can do a planned unit development, but the WIOD designation supersedes just industrial. So it could be additive and subtractive. So we got the verification on that today. So, if we want to take a further look at planned unit development in general, we can bring that in as a separate order and separate process. But in this particular case, we have it covered, fortunately.
All right, because
Council Sergeant.
I'm just not sure that the overlay district, I know it has a certain point, but as long as it's still an industrial zone and that PUD will still say under applicability that it'll still have industrial district in there. So just for, to be careful, you may want to add that, but I will definitely go by how the Ward 5 and Ward Board of Council feel about it.
Thank you.
Any further discussion? Seeing none on Council Terrell's motion to refer the matter to Planning Board to hold a joint public hearing. All those in favor? See 11 hands. All those opposed? The matter carries. Committee reports. Councilor Marcelo.
Thank you, Madam President.
Hold on,
City of-
Council Madore. I'm sorry, further. motions,
I
orders,
apologize. Further motions, orders, and resolutions. Councilor Hapworth. Thank you, Madam City Clerk.
Thank you, Madam President. Order that the Committee on Government Services, co-posted with the Committee of the Whole, meet to discuss City Council Rules and Orders Section 28C relative to public testimony during regular meetings.
All those in favor? I see 11 hands. All opposed? Seeing none, the matter carries. The matter is referred. Any further motions, orders, and resolutions? Seeing none, committee reports. Councilor Marcelo.
Thank you, Madam President. The City of Salem and City Council, May 27th, 2021. The Committee on Ordinances, Licenses, and Legal Affairs co-posted with the Committee of the Whole, to whom was referred the matter of ordinance amending short-term rentals, has considered said matter and would recommend adoption as amended for first passage.
On acceptance of the report, all those in favor? I see 10 hands, 1 recused, all is opposed. Seeing none, the matter carries. The report is accepted. On adoption of the recommendation, Councilor Marcelo.
Thank you, Madam President. So we met originally May 13th. We had our second meeting tonight on this issue, and there's 2 parts to it. The first part was the definition or the eligibility of short-term rental units. And so what was added tonight was affordable accessory dwelling units and principal dwelling units that have an affordable accessory dwelling unit established pursuant to the Salem zoning ordinance section 3.2.8, affordable accessory dwelling units. They would be ineligible for short-term rentals, both of the units. And then the second part was just to tighten up the definition of a primary residence, and it was brought in by the building department and the city solicitor.
Thank you. Any further discussion? None. On adoption of the recommendation as amended. Oh, by roll call vote. Madam City Clerk, please call the roll.
Council Torrio,
Yes.
Council Sergeant,
Yes.
Council Riccardi,
Yes.
Council Presnewski,
Yes.
Council Marcillo,
Yes.
Council McCarthy,
Yes.
Council Hapworth.
Recused.
Sorry, sorry. Council Flynn,
Yes.
Council Dominguez,
Yes.
Council Dibble,
Yes.
and Council Madore.
On adoption of the ordinance as amended, we have 10 councilors voting, 10 affirmative, 1 recused, none opposed, the matter carries. Further committee reports, Councilor Marcillo.
Thank you, Madam President. City of Salem and City Council, May 27th, 2021. The Committee on Ordinances, Licenses, and Legal Affairs, to whom was referred the matter of granting of certain licenses, CWorms, has considered said matter and would recommend granting.
On acceptance of the report, all those in favor? 11 hands, all opposed, the report is accepted. On adoption recommendation, Councilor Marcello, under discussion. No discussion. On adoption,
CWorms.
seeing no further discussion, on adoption of the recommendation, all those in favor? I see 11 hands, all opposed, seeing none. CWorm are granted. Councilor Marcello, further committee reports.
Thank you, Madam President. City of Salem and City Council, May 27th, 2021. The Committee on Ordinances, Licenses, and Legal Affairs, co-posted with the Committee of the Whole, to whom was referred the matter of amending resident sticker parking program, has considered said matter and would recommend adoption as amended for first passage.
On acceptance of the report, all those in favor? See 11 hands, all is opposed. The report is accepted. On adoption of recommendation, Councilor Marcello.
Thank you, Madam President. So this was another couple of meetings, and there's several items, and so I just want to highlight what we approved here. First of all, resident parking stickers will be available for all qualified residents in restricted parking areas at $5 per year, renewable annually. Each dwelling unit is eligible for 2 guest passes. The first pass will be at $10 per year. The second is $20 per year. And this is being done to help address the abuse that's being seen with the guest pass program. Each guest pass will have the address of the owner clearly written on it. And this is to provide accountability both for the owner of the guest pass and for the enforcement of resident parking. So if the address is on it, you can see very clearly if the car is in the vicinity of the property on the guest pass and not somewhere else in the city. Each guest pass can be used for up to 6 days. This is a decrease from 14 days, and this again is to help with enforcement. Any special cases will be determined in consultation with the ward counselor and the director of traffic and parking, or the police department and the ward counselor. And this is just to make sure that the ward counselor is involved in any sort of special case scenarios for resident parking. The Traffic and Parking Commission shall recommend policies related to resident sticker parking zones, and the city council will make the final approvals on the recommendations. College and university students living off campus with proof of residency can purchase a parking permit for $10 per year. And this wording was changed so that it doesn't say specifically Salem State University students. Instead, it's just generic college and university students. Eligible active duty military personnel living in Salem but with non-Salem registrations will have parking sticker fees waived. The administration of resident parking stickers and guest passes will be done by the Traffic and Parking Department, not the collector's office. And then finally, there's an addition of Derby Street at the end. I need to find it so I can read it here. So the street addition is Derby Street, parking prohibitions, towing zone, resident sticker, zone A, color blue, from Beckett Avenue to Webb Street, 6:00 p.m. to 8:00 a.m., but no visitor passes shall be issued. That's it.
Thank you for that recap. That was very helpful. Councilor McCarthy.
Thank you, Madam President. I want to thank the chair of License Auto Legal Affairs for her diligence on this and her keep going at it and keeping everybody in line and in order on this. It's a topic that no one really wants to. It's difficult because any changes we do make, you're never going to make everybody happy, and it's never going to be a perfect system. And but I think some of the changes, I mean, they're subtle, but they're enough that we're trying to address those things that we've seen as abuses, and also address those areas that are problematic. And I think that everyone recognizes, when we had those conversations with the parking and traffic directors, Mr. Kucharski is with, as we evolve the system, it's got to be, the enforcement has to be from a vehicle very similar to what they seem to use in Beverly for their parking and traffic. But I think that with our resident parking system, we can use a very similar vehicle that will read the license plates, which will make enforcement easier. So we're looking forward to those discussions. My only amendment would be on the last item on there, we added Derby Street, which has been a section of Derby Street, which has been under discussion. A lot of it has to do with I hate to say it, sometimes it's the boatyard. Some of the patrons of the boatyard are, they look, when they can't long-term park in the boatyard, they've been parking in the Blaney Street lot. We've addressed some of that, and now we're trying to make a section of Derby Street farther down where we've seen a tendency to leave some vehicles, at least residential parking at night, and hopefully that will ease some of that up, and it also allow some availability for the residents down there. My only addition would be, because of what we're doing from that section of Derby Street, we start in Beckett Ave, which is on the other side of the cleaners. And on Beckett Ave, there's two residences on Beckett Ave. They're in the back. They'd be the only residences down there that aren't qualified for any type of residential program other than haunted happening. So my amendment would be I just have to look it up. I want to say it's 3 and 3.5. Is to add 3 and 3.5 Beckett Avenue to that order for Derby Street. So that way those people aren't shut out of those spaces along Derby Street if they need them. Because everything else around them would be resident restricted. So my motion would be to add, on top of the section of Derby Street from Beckett Avenue to Webb Street, would also be to add 3 and 3.5 Beckett Avenue.
I'll second that.
Thank you.
Councilor McCarthy moves to add 3 and 3.5 Beckett Avenue to qualify for resident sticker parking within certain hours, you said, in the evening?
The way, if I may, Madam President, the way that the parking traffic director, they set it up for it's basically overnight residential parking. It allows availability during the day. It's farther removed down Derby Street, away from a lot of the businesses, but we want to still give some availability during the day. But at night, to turn the availability back over to the residents along that stretch. So that came from a recommendation from the parking and traffic. We'll try it, and then if there's any complaints or if it doesn't seem to work, we'll see if we can work through that and modify it. But this is just the first step, because it seems like the availability during the day is okay, because it seems that, post-pandemic, people will be going back to work, so the availability seems a little more during the day. But at night, it's obviously, it becomes problematic. And with the order that we passed last year about referred to as the tweener houses, it allows everybody on Derby Street now has the ability to access a pass. If someone doesn't, please let me know. We'll figure it out. That way, Derby Street itself, from the Custom House down to the VFW, isn't restricted residential parking, but all the residents on that section, as well as the whole length of Derby, have the ability to get passes so that they can park, if need be, on any of the side streets, because the whole area is restricted residential only. So.
Okay, so the amendment is simply add 3 and 3.5 Beckett Ave to the resident sticker parking program, correct?
Correct.
Seconded by Councilor Churiel. Under discussion? Seeing none, all those in favor on the amendment? 11 hands. All those opposed? Seeing none, the amendment, the motion is carried. Any further discussion on first passage, the recommendation? Councilor Posnowski.
Thank you, Madam President. I too want to give my hats off to Councilor Marcillo for running a very well-organized meeting, which was long, but it was very productive. She was able to focus everybody and chisel away at this, and we all had ideas and bounce everything back and forth. This is a contentious issue, especially with the public who feel that one of the biggest problems with the resident pass permit is the lack of enforcement. So what I'd like to do is somehow direct the Parking and Traffic Commission to work with the police department on coming up with some kind of a plan that, now that we've worked hard at trying to help put this together in a better organized fashion, that we also get the response from the Police and Traffic and Parking Commission to enforce this. I think the public would appreciate that. So thank you very much. Thank you, Councilor Marcillo, for doing such a good job.
Ditto. Any further discussion?
Oh.
Councilor Sargent.
Thank you, Madam President. I too would like to thank the committee for working very hard on probably one of the most difficult issues in the city. I just have one question, because I think as we move forward, when we're able to number the passes now, of course they've always been numbered, and we're able to put the street address in them now with this ordinance. So if somebody loses one and they come in and say, I've lost my pass, or somehow it disappeared or somebody made off with it, they can look up that number and they can cancel that pass. So what I'd like to ask is, in section C, line 7, it says visitor parking permits. It says visitor permits will not be replaced if lost. And with the technology we have today, somebody checking them can know if that one's been canceled. If the enforcer goes along with their little computer and checks out that pass, they can tell if it's been canceled. So I wonder if we could delete that section so that if somebody were to have the misfortune of losing a pass, they could get another one. And I'd like to make the motion to delete that and, of course, allow discussion. Thank you.
Thank you. Councilor Marcillo.
I will second that.
Oh. Councilor Sargent moves to delete section C5 on replacement. Was it C5?
On mine, it's section C, and it's line 7 about the middle. The line that says visitor permits will not be replaced if lost.
Okay. Councilor Sargent moves to delete the line replacement of lost visitor pass in section C, seconded by Councilor Dibble. Under discussion, Councilor Marcillo.
Thank you, Madam President. So I just want to understand what you said. We don't currently have a computer that goes around to check this stuff. So that's my only concern here, is that we're sort of in this middle transition place where we're waiting for the technology to do what we really want to do, that can go around and check for a number easily. Right now, I'm not sure if that would work. I think if you have a situation where, and I know you don't want to hear about, and we don't like to talk about people who aren't being honest with their passes, but this is the problem, is that some people are not being honest with their passes. If they hand that to someone else and then go in and say that they lost their pass, we really don't have a way to determine very easily at all whether that pass shows up on Derby Street, for instance. It's going to have an address on it, but no one's going out counting all the passes that have a particular address. So that's my only concern, is like, we really have, what we have proposed here is something that's keeping a tight control on the visitor passes, which are the problem. It's what we heard from public comment. It's what we've heard all along, the councilors that have resident parking in their wards. I'm a little hesitant to go forward with that. I'd rather see how this goes and see if we do get a lot of requests for lost passes. I mean, we also talked about the fact that most people keep these on their refrigerator or in their hall table and wait for somebody to come and use it. So I kind of don't want to build in a hole here that will put more guest passes out there, possibly.
Okay.
Any further discussion?
I can.
Counselor Sargent.
Thank you. I understand. I thought we had the ability, like we do with license plates, to be able to, you know, like in the lot, when you pay, you put in your license plate number, and then they put in the license plate, and it tells you paid for the old Elmies lot for other lots. I thought we had the ability to put in the number of the pass to see if it's still valid. I'm going to withdraw this and make another suggestion, and hopefully when we get that technology, we'll be able to do that and allow somebody to replace a lost pass. But what I want to make sure that is if somebody loses the passes are good for a year now, that they'll still be able to renew, you know, another pass. So if they lose it 6 months into it, that 6 months later, at least they'll be able to get a new pass when it comes renewal time. And that being the case, at the end of that line, I could add, but they can still be, meaning the pass, visitor parking permits, or visitor permits will not be replaced if lost, and add, but they can still be renewed the following year. And I hope that will be a good compromise, please.
So Counselor Sargent, you are withdrawing your first motion.
Yes.
Move to make another amendment to add can be renewed annually.
Renewed the following year. They'll lose it for that year, but the following year, they should be able to renew it because that pass will have a year on it and will be expired. If an enforcement officer looks at that pass, the person will get a ticket because they'll have last.
Mm-hmm. So Counselor Sargent moves to add can be renewed the following year for visitor passes.
I'll second that one.
Seconded by Counselor Dibble. Under discussion. Counselor Morcillo.
Thank you, Madam President. I don't have a problem with that because I don't think it will be an issue. I think they'll have to come in and get a new pass anyways, and no one, I mean, I'm not sure if the old ones will be collected because they're probably going to be a different color. There's going to be a way to indicate that this is the next year's pass, even with the year on it or something. So I don't have a problem adding that. It's fine.
Okay. On the amendment, all those in favor? Any further discussion? Seeing none. On the amendment, all those in favor? See 11 hands. All those opposed? Seeing none. The matter carries. We have the recommendation for first passage as amended. Any further discussion? By roll call vote. And seeing none, Madam City Clerk, please call the roll.
Counselor Torrio,
Yes.
Counselor Sargent,
Yes.
Counselor Riccardi,
Yes.
Counselor Prosnowski,
Yes.
Counselor Morcillo,
Yes.
Counselor McCarthy,
Yes.
Counselor Hapworth,
Yes.
Counselor Flynn,
Yes.
Counselor Dominguez,
Yes.
Counselor Dibble,
Yes.
and Counselor Madore.
Yes. On the matter of amending the resident sticker parking program ordinance for first passage as amended, we have 11 counselors voting, 11 affirmative, none in the negative. The matter carries. Before we go on to the final committee report, I would like to ask if any members of the council would like to take matters out of the order to unfinished business so that our staff planner, Amanda, could
Sure, so moved.
move earlier.
Move that we go out of order to whatever the page is for that, to 44.
34.
34.
Page 34. Council Torrio moves to take matters out of order to page 34 on unfinished business. Seeing no objection. No, unfinished business.
We have tabled from the last meeting, the ADU zoning ordinance.
Council Torrio.
Thank you, Madam President. I move to remove from the table by roll call vote.
Council Torrio moves to remove the matter from the table by roll call vote.
No discussion.
Can I have a second?
Second.
Seconded by Councilor Hapworth. Madam City Clerk, please call the roll.
Council Torrio,
Yes.
Council Sargent,
Yes.
Council Riccardi,
Yes.
Council Prosnewski,
Yes.
Council Marcillo,
Yes.
Council McCarthy,
Yes.
Council Hapworth,
Yes.
Council Flynn,
Yes.
Council Dominguez,
Yes.
Council Dibble,
Yes.
and Council Madore.
Yes. Removing the matter on second passage of ADU zoning ordinance from the table, we have 11 councilors voting, 11 affirmative, none of the negative. The matter has been removed from the table. Further unfinished business.
There's a second passage of the ADU zoning ordinance relative to accessory dwelling units.
Councilor Marcelo. Oh, wait. It's Councilor Marcelo, right? Oh, Councilor Torrio.
Oh, sorry, I think I just kept his name because he took it from the table. So whatever you'd like to do.
I move that Councilor Marcillo makes the motion.
Councilor Marcelo.
Thank you, Madam President. I move for adoption for second passage by roll call vote.
Councilor Marcelo moves for second and final passage by roll call vote. Under discussion.
Thank you, Madam President. This was tabled so that we could solve the issue with the short-term rentals and get some opinions from the legal department from some questions. The memo was sent out with the answers to those questions. Everything is in order. And so I move for second passage.
Thank you. Any further discussion? Councilor Dibble.
Thank you, Madam President. I'd like to just state, Madam President, that I'm disappointed in the Ward 3 councilor for refusing to let this go back to committee so we could have a discussion on this, have public input on a couple of fairly minor measures that I had proposed at our last meeting, looking to close some loopholes. And in my opinion, it's not, I don't know if it's the opinion of the entire board, the entire council, but in my opinion, it's not a committee's chair's prerogative to refuse things to come into any committee. That is the will, if it's the will of the body to send something to committee, to have a discussion on it, to have public input on it, to get a comments and opinion from our city solicitor, then so be it. Hopefully going forward, we won't see committee chairs refusing to accept something coming into their committee. That being said, Madam President, I would like to move that based upon my several discussions with our city solicitor to look to close these loopholes, that I wanted to have discussions in committee. And I'd like to thank all the councilors who supported it to go to committee and the Ward 5 councilor who suggested to table it so that the loopholes could go away and get resolved. The exact wording that I proposed at our last meeting was sent to the city solicitor for her review, and she agreed, and she typed it into the document as revisions and stated that it was within the four corners, and she had no trouble with the, not in her words, but basically she said she had no trouble with the wording that I had proposed. So with that, along the way, the city solicitor and I found two places, and it's just a housekeeping matter or whatever you want to call it, typo or something, or missing errors and omissions, that in two locations we found the word affordable was missing from the affordable accessory dwelling unit title. And with my motion here in a minute, those two words affordable will be put back in so that the entire document speaks to just one type of affordable accessory dwelling unit being affordable. So with that, I'd like to move that based upon the letter that the city solicitor sent to everybody that had these changes, that we tighten up this document and get rid of the loopholes by, and again, my motion is we add the word affordable before accessory dwelling unit under section 4, number 4, application number 4A3, simply adding the word affordable. Also, that we, in section 4, number 5, under requirements, in letter A, that we add after the words affordable accessory dwelling unit, comma, we add or should the homeowner reside in the accessory dwelling unit, then the maximum rent of the principal dwelling unit, comma, and then the balance of the paragraph would continue. And then 3, the last amendment that the city solicitor has approved would be under section 4, number 5 requirements, letter S, to add the word affordable before accessory dwelling unit. And then after accessory dwelling unit, add the words and in the principal dwelling unit. So the entire letter S would simply read, short-term rentals as defined in Salem Code of Ordinances, Chapter 15, are prohibited in the affordable accessory dwelling unit and in the principal dwelling unit. Thank you, Madam President.
Counselor Dibble moves to amend sections 4, subsection 3, 5A, and 5S, as provided by the city solicitor. Is there a second?
Second.
Seconded by Counselor Dominguez. Under discussion, Counselor McCarthy.
I'll defer to Council Dibble. He put his hand back up.
Oh, Counselor Dibble.
Thank you, Madam President. Very briefly under discussion, this is just and I would like to thank all the comments from several councilors on this to help shape it, and in particular, the city solicitor, who I had numerous conversations with to further shape this to make sure that we were getting rid of the loopholes. And these 2 loopholes are basically, if the city is, with this document, we're offering basically a tax discount to these additional apartments, if you would, the affordable accessory dwelling units. And if so, the homeowner would be receiving a tax break on that dwelling unit. Then if the homeowner chose to move into that dwelling unit, receiving that discount, it doesn't make sense. We lose the affordable nature of this affordable apartment, if you would. So the other unit, the primary unit, would become the affordable unit, and the primary unit couldn't be rent out for short-term rentals, Airbnbs, et cetera. So then neither unit could be rented for short-term rentals. And we would be creating at least one affordable unit by this document. So again, Madam President, thank you for your indulgence. I hope it's clear. This whole motion was simply to get rid of some loopholes and to protect the spirit of this document to help create some affordable units. Thank you, Madam President.
Thank you. It is clear on the loopholes. Counselor Turiel.
Thank you, Madam President. Lower hand. So I will just comment. I am fine with the change to 4A, Section 3. I am fine with the change to Section S on 5. I am very much not okay with the change to 5A. I think that that's going above and beyond the spirit of what we're trying to do. We are trying to encourage the construction of ADUs for use, but this would be to a family or to a couple, most likely, who owns the house and wants to downsize while still retaining ownership of the house. This really severely hamstrings the ability of that couple, that is more than likely an elderly couple at that point, that is looking to remain in their home. That really constrains the ability of theirs to rent out the house. So I am very, very steadfastly against the change to 5A. If somebody wants to live in their ADU and rent out the house for fair market, then that should be their prerogative. We are already restricting what you can rent out ADUs for, and I think that is sufficient. So I support the amendment, the other 2 amendments, but I very, very strongly do not support this one.
Any further discussion on the amendment? Councilor Cherry would like to split the question.
Yes, please.
So you'll move to split the three
Yeah,
amendments?
I'll move to divide the question into the edits to section 4A3 and section 5S to be separate from 5A.
Councilor Chorio moves to divide the question to take out the amendment on 5A.
Yeah, and vote on that separately.
Second.
Seconded by Councilor Marcillo. Under discussion? Councilor McCarthy.
Thank you, Madam President. Yeah, I just want to be clear that all the amendments that the Ward 7 councilor brought up in consultation with the city solicitor, the language that he's proposing is the strike-through language that came back from the solicitor in each case.
Yes, it is. Sorry.
Thank you. Yep, nope, that's fine. Thank you.
Councilor Riccardi, you had your hand up.
Thank you, Madam President. I just wanted to agree on those two amendments, and thank the Good Wife Ward 5 councilor for requesting to split, because I do want to support those two. But in regards to a homeowner moving into the accessory dwelling unit and renting out the primary residence, in my mind, that is the ultimate of affordability. They are creating an affordable unit for themselves at zero rent. You can't get any more affordable than that. So I don't think adding in, this additional excess restriction on it makes much sense. It would be a hindrance to people wanting to do this, in opposed to just being able to create, again, the ultimate of affordability. Thank you.
Thank you. Any further discussion? On the motion to divide the question by Councilor Chorio, seconded by Councilor Marcillo, to take out the amendment on section 5A. All those in favor? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. 10. I see 9 hands. All those opposed? 2 hands. The matter carries. We'll take up the amendment 5A first.
Under discussion? Yeah.
Under discussion.
So 5A is, well, just quickly is, we've probably said the word affordable 1 million times in the amount of time we've been going over this ordinance. And if you already own a house, of course you're the owner. And so that unit is affordable because you own the house for a while. So if the owner moves into the accessory unit and then rents out the other unit, the old unit at full price, we've gone through all this and we have not created an affordable unit. And that just doesn't make sense. It goes against everything we've been discussing, was to make a second affordable unit for rent. The owner does not rent from themselves. So we did this to have an owner make an affordable rental unit. So the owner will be renting a unit if they do this that is not affordable. So I think it flies in the face of everything we've talked about as far as making affordable units. Thank you.
Thank you. Councilor Marcillo.
Thank you, Madam President. I again want to bring up the seniors that we're trying to keep living here in Salem. Seniors who like their neighborhoods, they like the home that they live in. It's just too big for them. If they choose, if this helps them to create an ADU that they move into because it's smaller, it's something that they're more able to maintain, and they really don't need the 3 or 4 extra bedrooms in their house, and then they choose to rent out that house. First of all, I don't think that they're going to be asking for an exorbitant rent. That's not what we're seeing. Commercial property owners are the ones that are charging the high rents. People living in their own homes, their 2 and 3 family homes, are the ones that are bringing affordability to Salem. We've seen this over and over again. The owner of the home moving into the ADU, an older person who just doesn't need that kind of space, if they choose to rent out their home, I don't think we should be putting restrictions on them. They're not going to be charging a fortune for their home. I just don't see it happening. We're also judging that based on bedroom size. Some of these houses can be huge, right? If you're looking at a house on Chestnut Street, if a homeowner decides there to create an ADU and then rent out their home, it's a matter of scale here that I'm having a hard time even understanding how we don't see that we are creating affordability. We are keeping elder people in Salem, in the home that they love, that's been in their family. We're keeping them in the same neighborhood that they're comfortable with, where they want to stay, where I'm sure if they could find a smaller place right in their neighborhood, they would choose to live there, but that's just not available. And we hear about seniors all the time. We hear all these, every counselor has said that we need to take care of our seniors in the city. We need to make sure they can afford to stay in this city. This is an option for them to stay in this city, stay in their home, in their neighborhood. Thank you.
Thank you. Any further discussion? Counselor Pazuski.
We've talked about this a long time, and I want to thank Councilor Dibble for catching the loophole about making your ADU an Airbnb or your primary home an Airbnb, and I don't think anybody wants to see that happen in their neighborhood. So I'm in agreement with that part of it. But as Councilor Riccardi said, it makes it affordable for the elderly people to be able to stay in their home. And I personally know of an elderly female resident who lives in a very, very large house who planned to build an ADU so that her children who went to school in California could move into the ADU and into her home, and she would be able to live in the ADU, which would have been permitted under the old rules. Well, plans changed. They stayed in California. They're raising their families, and she's in that big giant house by herself, which has been in her family for 4 generations, and she wants to stay there. So being able to build an ADU and rent it out her home is exactly what we're trying to strive here. She's going to be able to stay there. She's going to be able to rent out her home, and it should be at the marketplace, because why not? Why can't she have the same a better quality of life and being able to do this? This is what we've been elected to do, is to improve the quality of life for our people, including our seniors. So I am voting not to make the primary resident an affordable option, but to let the owner of that property make that rate themselves. Thank you.
Thank you. Any further discussion on the amendment on 5A? Counselor DeVoe.
Thank you, Madam President. I'll be brief. We can use senior citizens in the discussion, and everybody listening at home and everybody in attendance will agree that we should be taking care of our seniors. We need more senior housing in Salem, and yes, this could be one option. I don't see Counselor Prosnewski, I'd have to agree with, there's going to be a few of these happen around Salem, but I don't see a lot of seniors adding on and building an ADU in their twilight years, if you would. But what we need to remember that this ordinance is not designed for seniors. This ordinance is designed for everybody. So a developer could come in and build 2 condominiums in a house and have 2 more ADUs in the house, and the 2 ADUs get a tax break if the homeowner chooses to live in the smaller unit and rent out the bigger home. So we're giving a tax break to the ADUs. And I don't think it's fair to allow a homeowner or the developer, once he sells it, for the new homeowner to move into the ADU, the smaller unit, at a discount. while they're making full price on the rent, creating no affordable units except for the one that they're getting a tax break on. So I have a trouble with the tax break part of this going to an ADU that is occupied by the homeowner, and then they're renting out the other side. I thought, and I'm flexible on what the solution may be. The solution that I came up with a couple weeks ago that I ran by the city solicitor seemed to have worked, but I'm welcome to some compromise here. We need a way that we do not give a tax break to a homeowner that moves into the ADU, so they're receiving less tax, not pulling their fair weight throughout the whole city, and renting out the other half at full market rate or whatever they want to rent for that. So there needs to be a compromise here somewhere, Madam President.
Any further discussion? I've
Move the question,
allowed
please.
someone to speak more than twice on this, so please.
Move the question, please.
All right. Council Chair would like to move the question on the amendment 5A. Do I need to read that for everybody again? Or you have it in front of you?
Yes, would you please read it, Madam President? So we're clear on what the vote, which way it's going?
Be clear. On the amendment under section 5A, to add the language behind affordable accessory dwelling unit, to add, or should the homeowner reside in the accessory dwelling unit, then the maximum rent of the principal dwelling unit. And then the rest of the paragraph stays the same. So in essence, if the owner decides to live in the ADU, with the amendment, they can only charge at 70% of fair market rent, which is a below market rent. That's the amendment if adopted. So on the amendment, we will take a roll call on that. Madam City Clerk?
Council Torrio,
No.
Council Sergeant,
Yes.
Council Riccardi,
No.
Council Prosnewski,
No.
Council Marcello,
No.
Council McCarthy,
No.
Council Hapworth,
No.
Council Flynn,
Yes.
Council Dominguez,
Yes.
Council Dibble,
Yes.
and Council Madore.
No. On the matter of the amendment for section 5A, we have 11 councilors voting, 7 in the negative, 4 in the affirmative. The matter does not carry. On the next amendment, sections 4.8.3, to add the word affordable, and section 5S to prohibit short-term rentals on the principal dwelling unit, and also add the word affordable. Any further discussion on that? Seeing none, Madam City Clerk, please call the roll on that.
Council Torrio,
Yes.
Council Sergeant,
Yes.
Council Riccardi,
Yes.
Council Prosnewski,
Yes.
Council Marcello,
Yes.
Council McCarthy,
Yes.
Council Hapworth.
I'm recused on this one.
Oh, sorry. Council Flynn,
Yes.
Council Dominguez,
Yes.
Council Dibble,
Yes.
and Council Madore.
Yes. On the amendment for sections 4A.3 and 5S, we have 10 councilors voting, 10 in the affirmative, 1 recused. The matter carries. On adoption for second and final passage by roll call vote, Madam City Clerk?
As amended,
As amended. Thank you.
Council Torrio,
Yes.
Council Sergeant,
No.
Council Riccardi,
Yes.
Council Prosnewski,
Yes.
Council Marcello,
Yes.
Council McCarthy,
Yes.
Council Hapworth,
Yes.
Council Flynn,
No.
Council Dominguez,
No.
Council Dibble,
No.
and Council Madore.
Yes. On adoption for second and final passage, as amended, we have 11 counselors voting, 7 in the affirmative, 4 in the negative. The matter carries. Can someone to return, Counselor Terrio?
First, I'd like to move for immediate reconsideration in the hopes it does not prevail.
Counselor Terrio moves for immediate reconsideration and hopes it does not prevail. All those in favor? 1 in favor. All those opposed?
Opposed?
Opposed, we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 opposed. The matter
Does
is
not.
not reconsidered. Thank you.
I further move that we return to the regular order.
I'm sorry, can you repeat the immediate reconsideration? I just didn't catch that on your count.
On the count, we have 7 opposed and 1 reconsidered.
Thank you.
Madam President, I was in favor. That's 2.
Okay, so 2 in favor.
I was too. I was trying to say yes.
Me too. I was in favor.
Okay, so 4 in favor of reconsideration, 7 in opposition of reconsideration. The matter is not reconsidered. Thank you.
Madam President, sorry. Aye.
Councilor Dominguez?
Thank you, Madam President. I would like to present a motion as a provided by the Charter of the City of Salem. Hereby request
Councilor Dominguez,
the City Council to refer the
Councilor
vote.
Dominguez, you are out of order. Councilor Dominguez,
How come?
what is your motion under?
It's a motion.
Which order
It's a
of
motion.
business is it under?
I will present a motion to the floor.
Which order of business is it under?
If the motion is seconded, I think that needs to be moved forward. This is basically the type of government we have, Madam President, with all due respect. So let me present the motion. If everybody,
Is it an order?
it's a motion. I present the motion in the same vote that we just took.
The vote's over.
The vote is over.
So my motion cannot be here by.
It is not posted on agenda unless it's a late file of an order
And
or other business under the regular order of business.
So what is the correct way to bring the motion
You
on?
have to bring it to the next meeting.
Or he can issue a late file, Madam President, right now.
we have covered late files already.
We already covered late files. You can bring it to the next meeting in June. Councilor Terry moves to return to the regular order of business on page
30,
32.
30.
30.
30? Sorry.
Last started.
Yes.
Councilor Marcillo.
Thank you, Madam President. City of Salem and City Council, May 27th, 2021. The Committee on Ordinances, Licenses, and Legal Affairs co-posted with the Committee of the Whole, to whom was referred the matter of pedicab application with consumption of alcohol, has considered said matter and would recommend that the matter remain in committee.
On acceptance of the report, all those in favor? I see 11 hands. All those opposed, the report accepted. On adoption of the recommendation, Councilor Marcillo.
Thank you, Madam President. This was an interesting conversation about a business, a possible business that is a pedicab that would take 12 cyclists, and they would have, she's also asking for a brown bag permit, and she is working on the route that this would be done in around the city. She wanted to focus on restaurants, so the focus was in the downtown area. There were concerns, though, at the meeting from the Ward 1 councilor about the route that she had chosen, and so she is back to researching the route and working with the Ward 1 and 2 councilors to come up with a route that's more acceptable by all. And so we will hear it again when she's ready to present a new route.
Thank you. Any further discussion?
Should be no.
The recommendation to keep the matter in committee. All those in favor? See 11 hands. All those opposed? The matter is kept in committee. Communications from city officials, none. Petitions.
The Ward 7 councilor is.
Councilor Dibble.
Thank you, Madam President. Seeing that the good at large, Councilor Dominguez had his hand up during the last one before the last vote was taken, I'd like to move that we return to motions, orders, and resolutions so we can hear what the good Councilor Dominguez has to say while we're here tonight. I'm curious what he has to say. I don't know what it is. So I move that we return to the section motions, orders, and resolutions. We hear from the good at large, Councilor Dominguez.
Councilor Dibble moves to return to the order of business under motions, orders, and resolutions. Seeing any objection? Seeing no objection, we return to the order of business under motions, orders, and resolutions. Councilor Dominguez.
Good. Can I present my motion now, Madam President?
Go ahead.
Thank you, Madam President. Thank you for the good counsel of Ward 7. Thank you, everyone, for being patient on this matter. But this is basically, motion is as provided by the charter of the City of Salem. Yeah.
Councilor Dominguez, I apologize for interrupting you. Is this a late file?
Yeah.
Okay. Go ahead and read your motion.
Thank you, Madam President. As provided by the charter of the City of Salem, hereby I request to the City Council to refer this vote to have this matter decided by a vote of the Salem residents at the next scheduled election or by any special election. So the voters of Salem decided. That's my motion.
When you say this vote, can you be more specific?
More specific is the fact that I got a response from our legal department that do not satisfy the information provided by the charter. I recommend everybody to read the charter, and we'll find out that what I make a motion before to put this question, the ADU matter, in the board's hand is legally allowed by our charter, and we all have to agree on the charter if we understand what does the charter mean. So my motion is to bring it to the body so we can all vote on to put it on the ballot. Thank you, Madam President.
The motion is to, as provided by the city charter, for the question on the accessory dwelling unit ordinance to be put on the ballot.
I will second that. I will second that.
Being a late file, there's no discussion. All those in favor?
Oh, so it will be a roll call vote on this, Madam President.
Okay. Being a late file, Madam City Clerk, please call the roll. Madam City Clerk, you're muted in case you didn't realize.
I'm just writing out the roll call vote. It wasn't something I prepared for. Councilor Torrio.
No.
Councilor Sargent.
Yes.
Councilor Riccardi.
No.
Councilor Krasnowski.
No.
Councilor Marcillo. Councilor Marcillo, sorry.
No.
Councilor McCarthy.
No.
Councilor Hapworth.
No.
Councilor Flynn.
Yes.
Councilor Dominguez.
Yes.
Councilor Dibble.
Yes.
And Councilor Madore.
No. On the late file, we have 11 councilors voting, 7 in the negative, 4 in the affirmative. The matter does not carry. Terrio.
I move we return to the regular order again.
We return to the regular order, page 32, petitions.
We have a petition from Comcast to install a conduit on Essex Street.
Hearing ordered June 10th, 2021. Further petitions.
We have a petition from Comcast to install a new vault and conduit on Washington Street.
Hearing ordered June 10th, 2021. Further petitions.
We have a request from the Federal Street Neighborhood Association to hold a block party on July 3rd, 2021 from 4 p.m. to 7 p.m. with a rain date of July 4th, 2021.
Councillor Hapworth.
Thank you, Madam President. I move that this be granted.
Councillor Hapworth moved that this be granted. Under discussion.
Just happy to finally get to vote yes on this, and I hope the residents of Federal Street enjoy this block party.
Agreed. Any further discussion? Seeing none, all those in favor? See 11 hands, all those opposed? The party is granted. Further petitions.
We have a request from the Wicked Running Club to hold their annual Miles Over the Moon Road Race in Houston City Streets on July 16th, 2021.
Councillor McCarthy.
Thank you, Madam President. I move that it be granted.
Councillor McCarthy moved that this be granted. Under discussion.
No, Madam President. It's actually most of this race is in your ward, but it's a atypical race at route-wise and actually date-wise. I believe it's held on a Friday night, and my son ran it one year. So the road races are coming back. So I wish them luck, and hopefully it's been a race we've run in the past. So I wish I don't see an issue with it.
Thank you. Any further discussion? This is a good one. It goes through Collins Cove with the new statues. So it would be great. Seeing none, all those in favor? I see 11 hands. All those opposed? The race is granted. Further petitions.
We have a request from B&S Fitness to hold their annual Devil's Chase 6.66 Creepy Clown 3.33 road race in Houston City Streets on October 23rd, 2021.
Councilor McCarthy.
Thank you, Madam President. I move that this be held.
Councilor McCarthy moved that this be held. All those in favor?
On discussion?
Sure, go ahead on discussion.
Thank you. Right now, we're just getting to embark on a lot of work in the Salem Willows Park, and I need to have a conversation with the Park and Rec Department. We're moving some temporary parking into the field to accommodate the parking that's being lost by some of the work we're doing by the removal of the tennis courts and some drainage. And the anticipated date of completion is sometime after this date. So it's just a logistical question I have to ask before I can grant this, because if the parking's not going to be available to these participants of this road race, then I have to worry about where they're going to park. And I want to see a parking plan in place before I entertain any motion to grant this.
Okay, any further discussion? All those in favor for this to be held?
Is this to the next meeting, Counselor?
Yep, I just did, yes, please.
Held to the June 10th meeting. All those in favor? See 11 hands. All those opposed, seeing none, the matter is held. Further petitions.
We have a list of public guide license applications.
Councilor Marcello.
Thank you, Madam President. I move that these be granted.
Councilor Marcello moved that these be granted. All those in favor? See 11 hands. All those opposed, the matter is granted. Further petitions.
We have one claim.
Councilor Marcello.
Thank you, Madam President. I move that this be referred to the Committee on Ordinances, Licenses, and Legal Affairs.
Councilor Marcello moved that this be referred to the Committee on Ordinances, License, and Legal Affairs. All those in favor? See 11 hands. All those opposed? The matter is referred. Page
40.
Page 40. Further unfinished business. Further unfinished business.
We have the second passage of the three following ordinance. 1, to amend outdoor cooking appliances, heating equipment, and fireplaces, and 2 traffic ordinance amendments.
Councilor Marcelo.
Thank you, Madam President. I move for adoption for second passage by roll call vote.
Councilor Marcelo moves for adoption for second and final passage by roll call vote. Under discussion.
No discussion.
No discussion. Madam City Clerk, please call the roll.
Council McCarthy has his hand up.
Oh, Councilor McCarthy.
Thank you, Madam President. First of all, I just want to recognize the fact that we're going to have a new fire chief. Just came out today, and I wish the new chief all the best. And with regards to this particular ordinance, I know that he had some input on it, and I was approached by one of my neighbors, and I will be following up with some questions with regards to some of the content of this. So, but I have no problem passing it right now, but I was approached with some questions with regard to the open solid fuel campfires. So,
okay.
I wish the new fire chief all the best before I call him with that question.
Okay. Any further discussion? Seeing none, Madam City Clerk, please call the roll.
Council Torrio,
Yes.
Council Sargent,
Yes.
Council Riccardi,
Yes.
Council Prosnewski,
Yes.
Council Marcelo,
Yes.
Council McCarthy,
Yes.
Council Hapworth,
Yes.
Council Flynn,
Yes.
Council Dominguez,
Yes.
Council Dibble,
Yes.
and Council Madore.
Yes, on the second and final passage of the three ordinances, we have 11 councilors voting, 11 affirmative, none to negative. The matter carries.
Madam President?
Councilor Terrio.
Thank you. Given that this is going into this is passing tonight, and because there's normally a waiting period on an ordinance passage, I will move for immediate reconsideration in the hope that it does not prevail on these matters so that it can take effect immediately.
On all three matters?
Sure. I mean, it doesn't make any difference. That's fine.
Seconded.
Councilor Terrio moves for immediate reconsideration and hopes it does not prevail. Seconded by Councilor Dibble. All those in favor? I have 2 in favor of reconsideration. The other way around.
Yeah.
All right. All those in favor of reconsideration? All those opposed?
Opposed?
Have 11 hands opposed to reconsideration. The matters are not reconsidered. Councilor Sargent.
Do you want me to take the chair?
Oh, no.
Want to adjourn?
No, there's one left.
There's one left?
There's
Where?
one
Oh, yes. Councilor Sargent, one left.
Do you want me to take the chair for you? Are you asking me to take the chair?
Would you like to move to adjourn?
No, we have to do second passage of this ordinance, it looks like.
Yep.
Handicap zones. I'm not sure which council this is for.
No, I think we caught it. It was.
No, we didn't.
We
Yeah,
didn't.
Yep.
You catch it?
Yeah, it was all matters
Okay.
combined.
Okay.
As long as you're sure.
As long as you're sure.
Yeah, it was
Right.
3 matters we did for second passage there.
Yep.
Good.
Well, then, with-
Willow, yep.
Well, thank you. I move for adjournment, please.
Councilor Sargent moves for adjournment. All those in favor? 11 hands, all those opposed. We adjourn. Have a good
Thank
evening,
you.
everybody.
Good night, everybody.